Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Chris Gennaro. My co-host is Eric Rizk, and today we have Haunter. How you doing, guys?
How's it going? How's it going? All right.
Cool. So let's just do a quick intro, and let us know who you are and what you do, and then we'll get into the stuff.
Right on. I'm Enrique. I play guitar in the band. I'm Bradley. I do guitar, vocals, among other things.
Cole, play bass.
Cool. And then Mark plays drums. He couldn't make it today.
Right. But
so we were trying to schedule this interview for a while. We kind of postponed it a couple times because you guys got some big news. So let's just start talking about that.
Yeah. So we're now working with Profound Lore for this next LP. Chris kind of approached us about it. I think right at the end of 2019 when we were touring on Sacramental Death Qualia, and he had reached out about wanting to work with us, and then the pandemic hit, and then we was kind of quiet for a while, and all the other offers that we had on the table kind of went cold. And then not that long ago, Chris reached back out and kind of really nonchalantly was like, hey, want to hear some of that new music y'all have been working on? And of course, I'm still really happy to put it out. And this whole time, we were just thinking that they weren't interested at that point, but he was like, oh, absolutely. Like, it's been on kind of like my list to get something out for y'all. And then we just kind of agreed to it. And then we started tracking this weekend, actually, or the weekend before. And yeah, that should be out pretty soon on Profound Lore Records. Thanks, Chris.
Awesome.
When he reached out to you, did you actually have anything at that point to play for him that was new?
Well, we had been spending all last year just hunkering down, just getting songs ready, rehearsing, refining, all that. We had like maybe one song that was from July 2019 that we had sent off his way. And then when he came back around the second time, it was a more fleshed out version of that song with another song that was done in January of 2020 and another one that was done in October of 2020. So it was all pretty much demoed out at that point, and he was stoked on what it sounded like, and then we just kind of set up a timeline to get it done, and I think it should be out later this year. I'm not exactly sure when, but later this year. Definitely.
What kind of stuff are you recording? Is it musically any different than what you had done on Sacramental Death?
The songs are just as long, if not longer, but it's definitely a little more stripped down in the sense of like dynamics. Definitely a bit harder, more straightforward to the point. Still very progressive, but yeah, it's definitely. I think you can tell like with each release, like the death metal knob is slowly getting turned up and up, and
yeah, it's like leaving like the black metal riffs are kind of sitting more in the background, and yeah, the death metal is taking like the front stage.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, like all the songs on this record are now tuned in B flat. Like the latter two tracks, Sacramental Death Qualia, Heathen Song is in B flat, and then the title track is in C standard, and we're just sticking with the low tuning on this next record.
Cool.
Hard.
Yeah, we just wanted to like come with like a from like my influences. We just wanted to kind of like have like a more headbanging approach to stuff. Like we weren't just like trying to dissect the riffs. You could just like feel the riffs.
Yeah, this has been a thing like throughout the whole course of since I joined the band. It's like this pulse that's always there.
Yeah.
In between all the 7/8 and whatever changes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, something that's easily graspable, tangible. Yeah, but I think this album will be a lot easier for people to kind of like latch onto. Not to say that Sacramental wasn't, but this one definitely just has more of that like heavy vibe without as much esoteric fluff that maybe the previous releases have. Yeah, just harder.
Did you just say fluff?
Fluff. Yeah, I mean, I could, for lack of a better word. Yeah, but you know, we still hard. You can edit that out. We still hard as ever, bro. Don't forget.
So, but your Sacramental Death did have a couple instrumental tunes and a lot of acoustic stuff. I don't know if that's the type of stuff you're referring to as being not as prominent, or if you're still doing a bunch of that stuff.
It's exactly that.
Yeah, like the clean guitar stuff.
Yeah,
like
it's
dialed
less
back
of
a
that.
little more.
Yeah, and like when we do switch to clean, like it's not like overstaying its welcome, as some people might have perceived. It's just constant, just like, I mean, we're always gonna do what we want whenever, but as far as like other people's opinions.
Yeah, we kind of wanted to like read the room on like the death metal scene right now, and like what we're liking from other bands, and like, oh well, we'd like to put our spin on that kind of vibe too. So it's like we're pulling from like modern influences to older influences, and I think it's a nice mesh up of a good like current death metal sound.
Yeah, I feel really happy with this new release.
Cool.
Which is still untitled so far. Yeah, not that it's going to be called untitled, but
who is recording it? Is it you guys, or you have a studio or an engineer working on it, or can you?
So we're doing work with Signal Perception, which is our friend Wes, who is actually with us on our first 2 tours ever, like in like 2015, 14. He was there for like some of the earlier stuff, just like hanging out with us and like doing merch. And now he has a really nice studio of his own, Signal Perception, here in Austin. So we went there for some drum work, and all the guitar work will be done by Brad, all in-house. Yeah. And then we'll be working with Arthur Rizk for mixing, and Dan, I think Loundies or Lowndes is his last name. He's in Cruciamentum. He's going to be doing the mastering.
Okay, cool, very cool.
Yeah, I feel like that guy Arthur's name comes up a lot. I feel like that's like
he's a big time producer now. We're not related in any way.
I know. We've talked about it, but that's definitely like the 5th or 6th time I've heard his name like in the last year.
Oh, your last name's Rizk.
Yeah, it's spelled the same way. Yeah, we're not related though.
Yeah, no, he's definitely like the hot name right now.
Yeah, for sure.
But
I'm just gonna have like just his work on our work.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, I've been a big fan of his through like all the Power Trip stuff.
Yeah,
just all the stuff that he is in. Just
sure.
Really excited for that. And then Dan just crushes it too. I mean, Cruciamentum is such a good like technical death metal band, in the vein of technicality that I like. So really stoked to be working with both of them for that. And it'll be the first time that we're actually having other people really doing it. Well, we did have Brendan Sloan of Convulsing do the mastering on the last album, but for the most part, Brad's kind of been like on the ones and twos about being mastering and recording.
Cool.
So when you say the last album, I know that you re-released one of them as a remastered version. Is that the one you're talking about, or we're still talking about Sacramental?
With Brendan.
Yeah, right.
He was Brendan. He mastered that record. That's Renodia. Sacramento, right? Yeah. The Renodia remix remaster was just me on my downtime during the pandemic summer.
Sure.
So that was like a George Lucas thing. Like I'm not really happy with this. I want to just do another, just tweak it a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully we're all like progressing in our crafts. So yeah, I've learned a lot since that 2016 release. So I definitely. Yeah, you can hear it in that. Yeah, like the original is like totally unlistenable in my opinion. I wish I could delete it, but people like that one. Yeah, for sure. But lo-fi black metal gem.
Cool.
I heard somebody mention artwork. Is the artwork done, and is all that stuff wrapped up?
Artwork's in progress. Elijah is returning for front and back cover on the next record. So Elijah Tamu, Iconoclastus artwork with I think the moniker online.
Okay. Cool.
We have we'll be using a border that was done by Lamb, Sanguine Eagle, rest in peace. So we'll be doing that, and then a handful of other artists which have all not been confirmed yet, but like Sacramento Deathfall, it'll kind of be like a big mashup of a bunch of different people working on it. So we really like that. It's just creating like a big web for people to work on this release with us, you know.
Nothing too uniform.
Yeah.
Single style.
Yeah, so really pumped on the artwork, but and Elijah also reworked our logo, which
You'll see in the thumbnail.
Cool.
Yes, yeah. I worked on the thumbnail earlier, so I'm pumped to put that on.
Yeah, start on
Yeah,
it.
we just got that a few days ago, so we're like very happy with how that looks. It's like
Awesome.
still.
Awesome.
So this is obviously recorded as we're recording it. We're going to release it in a couple days after you post the big news. I assume that you're going to post it to Facebook tomorrow or something like that.
The PL announcement.
Yes.
yeah. They're gonna post about it Saturday, and then we'll share that, and then you know whatever happens between then and then Sunday, you'll post yours, and then we'll follow suit and
Cool.
it as well.
Cool.
You guys have a bunch of. Oh, go on, Eric.
I was gonna say, I saw, yeah, you had a bunch of live stuff that was lined up for 2020 that got canceled, obviously. Is any of that rescheduled? Like, I think you're scheduled to play Fire in the Mountains Fest and Northwest Terror Fest. Is that right? Or,
Still confirmed. Yeah, and then
Our third one,
it's in Raleigh, North Carolina.
medium well in hell. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we're gonna do that. That was gonna be in August, which so far everything is just pushed out nearly year to the date.
Okay.
We're not sure what's happening with. I mean, we're still confirmed to play it, but when that happens, we don't know yet.
Sure.
I think we're figuring it out. I mean, everyone is. We're not particularly in a rush to get back to playing shows. I mean, we definitely we all play in multiple bands, and
Sure.
all of them are pretty actively touring bands. So stoked to get back to, but not in a particular rush.
Got it.
Want to get things out and perfected.
But what's the date in your head that like you're like right now? I think it might be because I keep hearing October, and
That's what I've been hearing as well, which I don't know, like out in Texas, if people are just gonna go ahead and do that with
Just play some late shows.
like with the forced distancing. Like I would rather come back just like full force,
Well, all the shows I've been seeing, I wouldn't even want to be at. Because
Yeah.
it's like you're in a group.
Like the
of,
people that are saying yes.
Yeah, you're like in a group of 3 people spread out over a football field.
That's not my
Like a
idea.
show,
That's not
yeah.
my idea of a show.
Yeah, it's
don't
a
wanna
little
do like
weird.
a-
I know what you mean. Yeah.
you don't want to do like a drive-in movie theater type of thing where everybody just.
I'm not
No,
interested in that.
yeah, no way.
That's a no way.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Full throttle or like
I really genuinely don't think that we'll be doing anything like live until next year.
Sure.
Yeah.
It makes sense. Yeah.
Even if it's local, and Cole lives in Portland, Brad lives in San Antonio, Mark and I live in Austin, so it's hard for us to get together as it is already. So, whenever that does happen, I don't know if it'll be a local show or maybe we'll fly out to Portland and play a show, but I think that'll probably be one of the first things that we do is either
Cool.
Portland or Austin, and then
Awesome.
start that festival circuit. No plans for touring quite yet, but we do have some ideas with some other bands on Profound Lore that might be revealed sooner or later.
Cool.
Yeah, there might be some other stuff coming out on Profound Lore, I've heard. Yeah, so I wanted to get back into the stuff where I think Cole, you were the one who lives in Portland. Is that what I'm getting? Yes.
Yeah. My
So-
girlfriend was there a few months ago.
Your girlfriend. So did you move to Portland for your girlfriend?
Yeah, she was out in LA, and so we were just like, yo, let's live in the same town. We picked Portland.
Yeah, it's probably easier that way, right? I mean, if you're dating somebody to live in the same city, I'm
Yeah.
thinking.
For sure.
Naturally.
You're in the other room giggling.
Any
I don't know. Sometimes I think my wife would wish that me and her would live in different cities, but that's not that's not the case. So I guess I'm kind of interested in how that all plays out, though. Like, with the long distance, now you're in a short distance relationship, but in a long distance band. So how do you, work that out with swapping riffs and practicing and rehearsals and all that stuff?
Just heavy communication, just tabbing out everything necessary.
I mean, I know
video
it's,
playthroughs, all that.
Yeah.
Provide what's necessary.
Yeah, it's probably harder on Cole though, since all of his bands are based on, because you play multiple bands,
Yeah.
and they're all
Like,
from
they're
here.
all here.
So
So he has incentive to come and knock a bunch of shit
I
out.
don't know, what do you think here?
Well, it's just like the pandemic made it seem like a perfect time to go try to live somewhere, because I've been in Austin for 10 years, and Jess is originally from Austin, my girlfriend. And then, so we were just like, yo, I wanted to live in Northwest forever. No one's doing shit right now, so let's just go try it out. And then as far as the bands go, like Bradley said, it's just been heavy communication, time stamping my suggestions. Like, I don't like 1 minute and 4 seconds. Let's do that riff a little bit longer at 1 minute and 30 seconds. And then they're like, yeah, I agree. And then they send me videos of the practices. It's just effort. If you want to make it happen.
Of course.
Yeah. Technology kind of makes it a lot easier in 2020.
It helps facilitate it for sure.
Yeah. So it's not out of the realm of possible, and I'd say flights are relatively cheap right now. And
Yeah, I mean, and my work it's fine. I can go out with my job to what I need to do, and music's always gonna be first anyway. So if they told me I can't come visit, I'd probably just find another job. So
Cool.
It just is what it is right now.
Yeah.
That must be nice. That's I think a lot of us don't have that situation, so I'm sure there's a lot of people who are going to be quite jealous of that.
we just make it happen.
Yeah, I just tell my boss I need to do this, and they're like, okay.
We call the shots. Connor calls the shots.
I'm the real boss around here.
I call the shots. I say who's does what, where they do it at.
So do you when you write music, does it usually does someone have just like a riff or a whole song, or how do you guys compose music?
It's this record here has definitely been my little brainchild.
Okay.
As far as presenting for the first time, which then you receive input and make adjustments. So there's plenty of decimal drafts of the songs that I could trace back, but of course just overwrite.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Cool.
Almost to the point where you're like, we're gonna work on new stuff.
Yeah.
Which
We're
that
so
should definitely be smoother as far as songwriting goes.
Yeah, because this album
We're
was
swapping riffs,
Yeah.
most of this was already done right as Cole was leaving to Portland. So
Yeah, we basically had the album written before I left.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
and since he's here this weekend, one of the goals is to maybe start cracking into some new writing for LP4.
Whatever comes.
Yeah,
next.
right. So we'll see where that goes.
Cool. Very cool.
You guys did have a bunch of splits out. I was curious about some of those. I think for the most part, they all seem to be done with black metal bands. I was listening to a couple. I was not totally familiar with everybody you've worked with. Although Crawl does seem to be a lot of doom. They stuck out as being a lot different than maybe some of the other ones. I was curious how all those splits came about, or if they were all different, or wanted to talk about those.
Well, the Moths one is back from our Screamo days when we were weaning off Screamo. So
I had just known the Moths guys for a while, and they were really fun to hang out with. So we just kind of put that one out as friends. That one never even got a physical release. Yeah. And then I think after that, the other split we did was with Black Vice, and
Those are just homies too.
yeah, they're homies. They're from here in Austin.
Mr. Red River Family Records.
Shout out to Shane. Love you, Shane. And then we did a split with Sovereign. I think we had maybe stayed at his house before that tour. I think we had toured through Arizona and slept at their house, and then we ended up getting the idea to put out a split together. And then the Crawl split, Crawl, I mean,
That was more of like a tour tape sort of thing.
Yeah.
Because like it's all those tracks from the Black Vice and Sovereign splits, just like remastered, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was just like a tour only tape. So
Okay.
it's
So
not
were
really.
you doing shows with them? Is that how that came about?
Yeah, well, we've known Crawl, Emperor, Crawl, Michael, Crawl Daddy.
I was over at his house like
Yeah,
3 days ago.
That fool's our fucking like
Yeah.
neighbor.
Yeah. He's just down the road.
He's like the most cult fool in the world, but I just know him as Little Michael.
Little
He's
Michael.
saying that. I love you, Michael.
Just heard some squeaking noises. I wasn't sure what that was.
It was a kiss.
Oh, that was blowing the kiss.
Blowing the
Okay,
kiss.
I got it. Now that makes sense to
Respect
me.
to the Emperor. I will say, Crawl, Michael, whatever you want to call him, is one of the most interesting people to tour with. And if any band ever gets a chance to tour with Crawl, they should take him up on it. Not only because the live show is fucking sick, but he's just a real character to hang out.
Okay. And any funny stories in particular? I always love tour stories.
How much fucking time you got?
I wasn't on that tour.
You weren't there yet. Oh man, we played a show in Oakland one time, and I think Crawl was closing out the night, and the bar like turned on the lights like while he was kind of doing an outro of like noise and cymbals and screaming, just kind of like ambient, and then so they turned on the lights, and he's prematurely, and he's really about like, you know, the ambiance of the room when he's playing. And then later that night we all went to McDonald's and everyone was fucking faded at the hotel, and I just remember Michael getting so pissed off at one of us for cracking a joke. I'd be joking a lot, and
Too much.
a little bit too much. And he fucking threw like a bunch of
Yeah,
fucking
like sandwich at the door outside of the house.
and like the fucking sandwich just like hit the door and then like slid down the door. And our friend Dane was drunk, and he just goes and like starts eating the sandwich, and Michael goes and sleeps in the van. But I mean, there's so many funny stories. I remember almost getting into a fight with him because he drinks like 5 cans of Monster a day.
I was gonna say the Monster.
Oh yeah, he should be sponsored by Monster. I think I like started pouring it down his throat while he was just chilling, and he started choking, and he like started swinging on me. Oh man, I feel bad. I be fucking with him a lot. I'm sorry, Michael. I love you.
Yeah, that's your
bro.
confession. For the show.
My bad.
Confession day.
Yeah, he's a funny guy. I love Michael. Everyone should go jam Call. He's one of the sickest from San Antonio for sure.
Cool.
With Profound Lore, is that a multi-record deal, or is it just going to be just like one-offs, or who knows?
We're not sure.
Who knows now? But like, we're definitely glad we got someone stateside. Because like, as great as iVoid Hangar was, it was just like difficult receiving product,
Mm-hmm.
paying for shipping.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's
It's really
been really casual so far. Just like
definitely casual, like nothing like
easy going.
on paper really.
Which is really nice. I think we all kind of prefer it that way instead of having like a really, you know, formal kind of approach to it. Especially, you know, we come from a really DIY background, so I think if he had presented it like really suit and tie, I don't think we really would have really. I mean, we probably still would have gone with it because Profound Lore is so fucking cool, but at the same time, we would have felt differently about it. I think right now we're all really excited about it because it's been so genuine and cool.
Yeah, like you approach us like as a fan of the music for sure.
Yeah.
Not just like
Awesome.
you can make me money.
Did he
Money, bro. Swear to God.
did he see you guys play, or did he just hear the record and like it, or did he see you guys play live?
I don't think he's ever seen us live.
Nah, you couldn't.
Unless, I mean, you may have seen videos and stuff, but
Okay.
I don't think he ever seen us live. And yeah, I think he was just like a fan of the music. And I think he had actually, well, yeah, like I said, he had emailed us like right after we put out Sacramento Death Qualia,
Okay.
Healer, and then he reached back out later, and that's how all of this came about.
Awesome. Cool.
Do you play some of that, all the instrumental stuff live, or how do you work out your live shows versus the albums?
Usually when we do play live, we do trim out like the outros and interludes and stuff like that, unless we're just feeling wily and just
if there's like, you know, like a tuning thing or someone needs to adjust, like somebody will probably start playing like one of the ambient loops or that sort of thing. But for the most part, we finish the song and we try to go right into the other one, just because they're so fucking long and we hate eating up into other people's set time.
Yeah, like breaking out a 7.5-minute long application when we already only have a 30 to 40 minute set.
Sure.
Yeah,
Also keep the momentum too, right? Keep the momentum of your...
Yeah.
You give someone like 10 seconds and they're gonna look at their beer and they're gonna I go my excuse not to walk away.
Yeah.
So we did not get an advanced copy of the new record, obviously, or even a rough mix. So maybe you can tell us a little bit more about what you've been recording and what everybody has to look forward to.
What we've been recording, like on, or just like the material itself?
Yeah, the material itself. Like, I know you said you cut out some of the fluff, but like beyond that, like
I guess like influence wise,
it just doesn't require as much patience as SDQ would, you know.
The way I've been like explaining it is like I'm not like doing math equations in my head to play the riff.
Sure.
I'm just like banging my head and just like having fun with it. It feels to me it's a more fun record instead of an introspective record.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's just like something you put on in the car versus something you put on like when you're trying to like chill in your room and be like, I don't know, cold.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
like all the songs check all the boxes that we're like trying to check off, but they all tell different little stories.
yeah. I'd say like influence wise, it's like taking the heavier parts of like Leviathan for the black metal stuff, and then like I don't know, what else would you say?
I mean, like I've been on like that 90s death metal kick, looking for the gems and really like refining like the riff style.
Mm-hmm.
Like all year, like all those revisions that we made for the record last year, it's just like made after all that. Been listening to a ton of Virus, of course, just like tons of raking, all that.
Yeah, you always like with your riff, you like instead of like bringing it to that typical like 4/4 time type.
Like a riff will be
mentality.
4/4, but you won't like hear one, you know?
Yeah, you'll be like, let's do it. You put your own swag on it, so it brings like a whole swing to the riff instead of just like a straight ahead. Riff.
Start your fill on 3, end on 2.
Yeah.
All that
Mathematician
bullshit. Is it Caveman? No,
It's not caveman.
It's not caveman-ish. It's definitely just like it's just heavy.
We want to stay away from that caveman trend that's popping up real hard right now. That everyone's like wants to do like super beat down like death metal right now.
Yeah.
Which I like too. Don't get me wrong. But it's
It has
super
its
trendy.
place,
It's super
you know.
trendy right now. I want to be like, I enjoy it, so let's incorporate parts of that. You know, obviously.
We want to be the smartest dummy in the room.
That makes sense. That's funny.
it's funny. The caveman is not a term that I use. I'm trying to figure out if you're explaining stuff that I like or don't like, but I'm
Like you've had to have heard that. You've never heard that, like
caveman riffs.
yeah,
I
like
don't know.
Mortician or Sanguisuga Bob.
Okay, no, those guys obviously are. Okay, so that sounds like stuff. But
It's
yeah,
like
but that's
really
not that
stripped
right.
down.
But I think to your point, that's not your wheelhouse though.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
like,
totally fine. Like,
yeah. I mean, like I can get down with that for sure, but it's not what we're playing in concert, you know. I mean, you can look at, we used to have a sister band called Cosmic Behemoth, and that's more along the lines of that kind of stuff, you know, like spectral voice, like knuckle dragging kind of death metal. But
yeah, very undergained.
but Haunters, we really strive to make that band as like unique as possible, while still like holding on to like the the soul of like death metal and black metal, and you know, keeping it true or whatever. But definitely want to keep this band like as unique as possible. You know?
Yeah, we say like, well, for me personally, like pushes me. Like the riffs are actually hard. I have to learn them. I have to sit down with them. I'm not just like willy-nilly just like playing these riffs. I have to like take my time with them and actually learn them. So to me, it's like I'm growing as a musician just playing concert songs, and I'm trying to push myself further, you know.
And that's something I've definitely noticed with our fan base. Is usually a lot of the bands that we really like that play like any kind of technical stuff, like they end up being like really, really big fans of the kind of stuff that we play. You know, we're like a musician's band for sure, which I like. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, do you consider yourself a technical band?
In our own, yeah, like in a way, not in the traditional sense.
Yeah.
Or like that super sample replaced quantized tech death sense, like not at all. But
we're
I'm just like, this shit's hard, so it's dead.
Yeah. we're no behold the octopus, but we're definitely technical.
God, are those guys even technical? I don't know. I've listened to some of their stuff, and I'm not even sure that I would call their stuff technical. It's certainly fucking weird. And I would never want to play that. Like, I couldn't even remember, like...
Yeah, how do you get in that headspace?
Right.
No say.
Let's see. What do you got, Eric?
I mean, that was mainly a lot of the things I had about the rescheduled, you know, the fest stuff. But I mean, I guess, how about this? I mean, is there any other, you play in a lot of bands, is there any other bands you want to promote or shout out now? Right?
Country band.
Yeah, we have a country band, so we're gonna plug it right now.
Calico Bonnet.
Yeah, Calico Bonnet. Be on the lookout. It's coming out. It's all the members of Haunter, some of the members of Temple of Angels, and Desmond, who's the sweetest man on earth.
Yeah, who's our handsome front man.
Okay.
It's a CMT with that one.
Yeah,
so y'all be on the lookout.
CMT, the Grand Ole Opry, gonna be up there with the likes of Willie, and George. So be on the lookout for that one for sure. That one kind of happened out of nowhere in the middle of the pandemic, and we have like a little 4-song demo thing coming out soon, and that'll be followed up by like a 16 or 18 track full length album, and it's like in the vein of like Graham Parsons projects.
Yeah, just kind of like Graham Parsons, The Birds, all that cosmic American.
Oh wow. Okay. Cool. Really drastically.
Like anything else that we're affiliated with.
That's cool. But no, I know. Yeah. I mean, I don't follow. I follow Bradley on Instagram. I know you have a very diverse musical palette. I think we share a love of Steely Dan, actually, because you like.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, you have a very diverse musical. I'd say, well, I'm sure, but you all do because of what you're saying. You have a very diverse musical palette of bands you like.
Yeah,
it's funny. I used to say I hate country music until I actually found country music that I like. So now I don't say that anymore. So I'm actually sitting here trying to figure out if this is going to be something I'm going to be interested in.
Oh, you're gonna love it. If you don't like it, you're not a real one. I'm gonna say that. Right. Yeah, it's saucy country. Like it's good. I don't even feel bad saying that. It's good country music.
It feels really good to play it.
It's organic. It ain't no fucking my truck and my beer type bullshit. You know?
Yeah.
I
like the dark stuff. I guess that's what it is. Like if it's poppy radio stuff, that's where
But it's not that.
Oh no, we got a soft spot for the hard stuff, brother.
Yeah.
Of course.
So besides, No,
Yeah, we got that one.
Anything else to plug?
Yeah, we last year we recorded like demo versions of.
I'm in another band called Temple of Angels. It's like a goth meets shoegaze meets like dream pop type stuff. And our vocalist, she lives in LA, so it's like another long distance band, but
Mhm.
We've done several tours, and we're about to start recording our full length as well.
Cool.
So
Yeah,
all female vocals for that one?
Well, we kind of switched it up. We have 3 vocals technically in the band, or we did at one point, but on this new album, we're going like, you're the singer, sing the album. So yeah, she's gonna be doing pretty much most of the vocal work on it. She's mostly always been most of the vocal work. Our drummer will sing some songs, and our guitarist will sing some songs with her as well. So it's kind of across the board, like Ponter is, but different genre.
Cool. And that's currently available?
Yeah, we're on Spotify, Apple Music, Temple of
Bandcamp?
Bandcamp, yeah, any
Okay.
platforms.
Temple of Angels, Hunter, Calico Bonnet, who else? Violent Christians, who else?
Violent Christians. We got
Ready Arm
We
System,
got Acoustics.
Acoustics, Altar of Eden.
Yeah, our squad just plays music. That's all we
Yeah.
do.
I know that's very involved. Yeah, Chris has his work cut out because he puts the links.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I usually
Like a lot of links to put in the.
I do. I put all the links
Yeah,
in the description.
Why?
So when bands say when bands say I don't have anything to promote, I'm like, oof, thank God. I don't want to spend all the time like typing the shit out in the description. But
I'll send it to you. I'll make it easy for you.
oh, fucking excellent. No, I'll be super appreciative of that. Yeah, that'll save me a ton of time. But yeah, no, definitely check out that stuff in the description. You know, if you're lazy, don't worry about it. Just click down there and click through the stuff and get an earful of everything.
Oh, yeah.
We appreciate that plug.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. I mean, any stories about the scene or bands that you like to play with, or you know, the scene in you know, you haven't been in Portland long enough to know the scene there, or are you familiar with that at all?
You've been a bunch though, right?
Yeah, we my band Temple of Angels, we've toured through there a few times. Played Blackwater, love that place. The homies work there. But yeah, I haven't really got to experience full Portland because I've only been there during the pandemic, you know. So I haven't really been able to venture out to a proper show, let alone a restaurant. But yeah, I mean, Portland has the Northwest in general has a crazy metal scene, so I'm like excited just to like venture out and start going to punk and metal shows up there and see what they have to offer.
Awesome.
Cool. Well, if there's nothing else, I guess we'll wrap it up.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, guys. That was
Yeah, I really appreciate it. It was a long time coming, but I think we got through everything, and I'm super excited to be the first interview since you're breaking the news.
Hell yeah.
I
Thanks
feel
for having
very
me.
privileged.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
We really appreciate it.
Cool. And look forward to seeing the new record. And you know, whenever you guys got stuff, drop us a note, and we'll plug it away as we can. And I'll thanks for joining everybody, and I'll see you later.
Alrighty, man. Drip.
Bye.